Alright guys, welcome to Monday morning. We are about to ride to work on a electric mid-drive bike. So let's get started. I forgot my phone at home. That's fine. So I have to manually upload my ride. So it's 6:40 in the morning. So these days I try to do 45 minutes on my way to work. Seems to be the duration I'm interested in doing. 45 minutes to work, 45 minutes home, and then maybe ride again in the evening. So at least it gets me an hour and a half on a weekday, work day. Riding a Ghost electric bike. I don't remember what this one's called. Square Veil or something like that. So it's an aluminum electric bike. It uses a Bosch active line motor. So it's like a commuting motor. It's Bosch's least expensive motor. And when I was shopping around, this was essentially the least expensive Bosch bike I could find at the time. So this one is completely legal. I don't know how to hack it. It has its quirks, like I don't think I'm getting the true speed out of it. Like when the Bosch computer on it says I'm going 32k an hour, when I got the bike, it came with 40mm tires, which in my opinion are kind of narrow for a bike this heavy. But what ended up happening is so it came with the stock 40mm tires, and the display on this thing says 32k an hour, but my Garmin said it was only going 27, 28k an hour at those speeds. What the hell? So basically, to get the true speed out of it, I had to put on bigger tires. So this thing takes 2.35-inch tires. So putting on the fatter tires, basically, it now actually assists to like 30, 31, which is pretty darn close. So if you have an electric bike and you want it to go faster, just put on a little bit fatter tires, because it slows down the wheel rotation, and your bike thinks it's going slower than it is, so it will assist until it thinks it's going 32k an hour, but because you changed the tire size, it's actually going faster. And that works out great on an electric bike, because you have all that electric power to compensate for any additional weight or rolling resistance. And my ride to work, I don't necessarily do the same route all the time. I do the ride to keep moving. Like, we're coming up at a red light, and I'm not going to wait at a red light. So we're going to have to tweak our route so that we don't have to wait. We can keep riding. Yeah, so mid-drives are cool. What I like about this mid-drive is the wheels that you get are pretty much regular wheels. I think they're built up a little bit because this is a heavy bike and all that wattage, but they don't feel extremely heavy. So this bike accelerates like the wheels feel like normal wheels, is what I'm trying to say. They don't feel like having a rear hub motor that you have to try to accelerate. It also means all the weight is centered because the wheels aren't ludicrously heavy. So the handling and everything is similar to a regular bike because the weight's all centered and reasonably low. And so yeah, it's not the fastest thing in the world, it's not the most powerful thing in the world, but it just gives you consistent push, consistent extra grunt compared to what you can do. So I've done some 100-kilometer rides on this, and yeah, so for 100k I can average 30 kilometers an hour for the energy to ride 25k an hour. As long as you have battery, it'll just do that forever. So it's 12 Celsius according to my Garmin. So cool but not cold. It may get colder as we drop down to lower elevation. Yeah, so one of the annoying things about this bike is it has this preferred cruising speed. And once you hit that preferred cruising speed, getting it to go any faster takes significant effort, which also means you spend the vast majority of your time in like one gear. So what I'm saying is, I'm surprised that gear isn't skipping and worn out now. That's the other thing, like if you're comparing mid-drive versus a rear hub bike, there's advantages to each. One of the downsides to a mid-drive is all the forces go through the drivetrain. So your energy and then the motor's energy goes through the drivetrain. So theoretically it means that your drivetrain will wear out faster. Passing on your left. Passing on your left. Whereas on a hub drive, basically the only power going through the drivetrain is your power. And the rear hub basically powers an external of the drivetrain. So your drivetrain doesn't take any additional abuse. But it does mean that you have a heavy rear wheel because of the weight of the motor, and then when you're not getting electrical assistance, you have to use just human power to try and turn that heavy rear wheel. So they both have their good points and bad points, but I would say if you want a bike, an electric bike that feels the most like a regular bike, the mid-drive gives the most normal bike experience. And maybe I'm saying that because this is so low powered at 250 watts. I know Bafang is starting to offer some high wattage mid-drives, but all the Bosches are like 250. Normally we would have gone over there, but traffic made it that we couldn't. Well, fine, there were many tweaks to the route. Again, it's all about keeping us rolling and keeping us not having to stop pedal, keeping the quality of the workout higher. No stop and go baloney. Well, this way we also will go the fastest on our ride. We'll have a fast downhill. It's short, but it's fast. So now the temperature is 10.9, so we might see single digits once we get to lower elevation. So this is a 1x9 drivetrain. It has a 38-tooth big ring and an 1134 9-speed cassette, which is decent. Doesn't have the lowest climbing gears, but you do have electric assistance. And then 3811s, a decent size. Look at these 2.35-inch tires. We hit, I think, 46k an hour down that hill, and we still weren't spun out. Yeah, so my ride to work is mostly downhill, and then it's flat. So right now I have the fitness to be as fast or faster than this electric bike on the way to work, because like I had said, once it reaches just cruising speed, it's difficult to go much faster. So on the downhill sections, I can go significantly faster on a regular bike. But then on the way home, I currently don't have the fitness to beat this thing. Because up any sort of gradual slope, this thing just powers along. Puts out consistent power. So on the way home, my ride is flat and it's all gradual uphill. So I can, on this thing, I can usually average like 29, 30 kilometers an hour, even with significant amounts of uphill. It's all gradual uphill. I wouldn't say any of it is really steep, but little bowl that we went through there, we hit 38k an hour. On a regular bike, I'm usually always over 40. Not that this thing is always slower downhill. If it's steep and long, the extra weight of this thing does eventually come into play. And I've hit some pretty high speeds on this thing, and I think eventually the weight becomes an advantage. So we're dropping into basically the lowest land in the city, and I find in the mornings that it's coldest down here. And I guess if the cold air settles, cold air drops to the lowest land. So we're at 10.2 Celsius, about to break into the single digits. So we're going 30.9 kilometers an hour for the same effort that it would take me to go 24, 25 kilometers an hour on a reasonably fast bike. So if you're going over long distance, this will allow you to go a fair bit faster, a fair bit further. So as I say with e-bikes, it will allow you to explore further. Now for 20 minutes, so we need to ride for another 25 minutes. We have a multi-use path beside the road. So this street, they're working on a multi-use path on both sides that's supposed to go across town, but it's getting delayed. And when it is ready, I'd probably use my one wheel occasionally to ride to work. But even when it is ready, I'll only use it on a bike occasionally, mostly for curiosity probably. But there's tons of streetlights. The route that we take allows us to avoid numerous streetlights. So I'm not gonna take a route where every few minutes I have to stop and wait at a streetlight, no matter how nice this path is. It's pretty nice. A bit of a headwind. Nice thing about the mornings is generally the wind has yet to pick up substantially. So the winds are lighter. And as you saw in my previous videos recently, it's been really windy here. I saw it hit as 10.2, now it's 10.3, so maybe the temperature's now going to start climbing. So we're cruising into a mild headwind at not quite 31k an hour, but almost. And this is gradual upslope, very gradual, falls flat. So here we have a very bumpy road. This half is falling apart, but the next half they've resurfaced. Once they get it repaved, it'll be super fun. It's tight, twisty, right, left, right. Normally Normally you can ride through here faster than cars because of all the 90-degree corners. Bike can change direction much easier than a multi-thousand-pound vehicle. So a bicycle just slices and dices its way through here. So usually when I pulled onto that street, cars will pull in behind you, then aggressively accelerate to beat you through the corners, and then going through those corners you'll be right on their asses again. And sometimes I even pass them through there because they'd pass me if I slowed them down, and since they're slowing me down, I pass them. So there's a bunch of construction happening here. We're actually getting our first roundabout. So the stop sign up here, if we go to the right, traffic can't come through there, except for the local traffic. So we stopping because there won't be any traffic coming. Oh, so there's a radar, so you can see we're going 31 kilometers an hour, 30, 31. For the effort of 25 kilometers an hour, so this bike allows you to ride at your endurance pace, but get somewhere at tempo speed, or my tempo speed anyways. These days I get tempo at like 30 to 32k an hour for around an hour. Nice little loop. This is just a big loop. In the center of the loop, it's a city park. In the center of the park are soccer fields, baseball diamonds, and our tennis club. And then on the outside of it is Chapel City Golf Course. So that is for cars, and this is for cycling and walking. Actually, I see those ladies here lots. Usually the one lady's dog isn't on a leash. Lisa was on a leash this morning. Making our way towards work. I finally got in a decent week of riding. We did, we rode 7 days in a row. Which I haven't done in a while. We did 11 and a half hours, I think 320K, so not horrible. Need to get back into the swing of riding, so I think I might go with 12-hour weeks and then get three solid days of intensity, 3 days of some harder riding. Should keep me in pretty good shape, keep me slim. And so that the one video I made of beating that paved KOM up Hazelwood, strangely I was very sore and tired after that, because I pedaled my ass off on the way up, and then, or I did a video and tape, but I pedaled my ass off on the way down. So I think I spent like 35-40 minutes like pedaling at a cadence way faster than I'm used to pedaling. So it was kind of a shock to my system. Since both average speeds were up was 38K an hour, down was 39K an hour, I was almost out of gears, so I was pedaling so fast. So I guess all my muscles, ligaments, and tendons didn't like that. So the bridge is being rebuilt, which means this road here is shut down except for local traffic, which is fun for us. Straight street with a nice bike lane. There was a traffic light halfway down, but they did some traffic study and they removed it, so you have this long straight. So it's great if you want to do an interval. There is this Travis segment for it that I held at one time, but that was 5-6 years ago when I was in actually really good shape, above average shape, but I'm definitely not there right now. There's a shift change at a long-term care home that happens right around now. So you're seeing all that traffic pull out of that side street. Bike has its cruising speed and it's hard to make it go much faster than that, so 30 to 31K an hour, it'll just do it forever. But if you want it to go faster, it's hard to do because there is some resistance to the motor. I read their marketing, they say they designed it to reduce the resistance so you can pedal it normally, but no, there's definitely some resistance there that doesn't want you to go faster when it's powered. Oh, we got a green light, so we'll go straight. So if you get a green light, you can even just keep going. part here was just repaved recently in the past few months. We might get lucky at the next lights since they're red now. Light. Green, if you didn't know, means go. So we're at 36 minutes. So we're going to get to work too early. We're going to have to add some distance. Light. We're turning right here. So this light that we're about to approach, it's going to be removed due to a traffic study, which will be nice. I don't know if it means a four-way stop. Hopefully it means straight through here, stop sign that way. Means we can take a sweet 90-degree corner at speed all the time. Coming up to one of the busiest streets in the city, but we're out early enough that it's not so busy. Yeah, you heard that creaking? So yeah, there's creaks when you stand up. I'm assuming it's just how the motor is bolted to the frame. Keeping in mind we're going 30 to 31 kilometers an hour, so we will cover a decent distance in 5 minutes. thinking, what's going on at work today? I was also thinking, like, this is going to be a 45-minute long video, almost 50 minutes, whether to break it up into 2 parts or load it all at once. But I think I'm going to load it all at once, since it's the complete commute. The only downside is it takes a long time to upload a 1080p video. Like, I don't even have the cheapest internet. I pay for a little bit faster internet, but I don't think it's that fast, because it's going to take 5-6 hours to upload a 45-minute video. And I'm thankful this account is still monetized, considering I haven't made a video in like 2 years. But my view hours have dropped enough that if they continue, I'll get kicked out of the monetization program. But my view hours are already up with all this extra content, so my account should stay monetized. So I can make $25 a month. Ticked over 45 minutes and we're less than 2 minutes from work. So far our average speed has been 30.9 kilometers an hour, so good cruising speed, faster than 99% of people who can ride a bike for an extended period of time. This is electric battery powered, it would continue to do that for pretty much forever, as long as you kept feeding it battery juice. It doesn't fade like a human being. We're using it in turbo mode, so the highest level of assist, which when we're already maxing it out, so the only time it gives you turbo is under acceleration. Anytime you've gone below cruising speed, but once you hit the maximum speed, turbo doesn't matter, because it just only feeds you a little bit of power to help you maintain that speed. On this e-bike, you definitely help it much more. Guy didn't use his turn signal. Too busy texting on his phone, I guess. All right, we made it to work, alive, one piece. Let's go back. So that was 46 minutes, 44 seconds. We did 24.05 kilometers, average speed of 30.9. So yeah, lots of fun. So thanks for watching. Bye.